Welcome to Leaders of the Year, presented by the Arizona Capital Times. Presenting our gold sponsor, AARP Arizona. Presenting our silver sponsors, Professional Firefighters of Arizona, the City of Mesa, and Crossroads. Presenting our bronze sponsors. And finally, our supporting sponsors. And now give a warm virtual welcome to your host, Luigi Del Puerto.
Good evening. My name is Luigi Del Puerto, and I'm the Associate Publisher and Editor of the Arizona Capital Times. Each year, the Arizona Capital Times recognizes women, men, and organizations that contribute greatly to the growth of our state. These groups, companies, and individuals hunker down every day to find ways to improve our quality of life. These year's honorees work tirelessly to advance their companies, their organizations, their cities, and their communities. And collectively, their contributions allow our state to continue to flourish. I am very honored to welcome you to tonight's 2020 Leaders of the Year Awards ceremony. Please enjoy the show.
And now, the honorees for Arts and Culture. Joseph Benesch is the Executive Director of the Arizona Citizens for the Arts. Prior to joining Citizens, he worked for 8 years as the Director of Phoenix Center for the Arts. He has worked in New York City, where he managed the Manhattan Movement and Arts Center and received his master's from New York University. Joseph also developed and led community outreach programs in group homes, shelters, and other community centers that serve inner-city children. He is committed to advocating for arts and culture and their deep impact on individual lives, local culture, and the greater economy.
What just kind of motivates me, which is a question I think a lot of us get a lot, and that's very simply people. Stay focused on the horizon, not on a single point. So I never had a single target for me. It was always moving towards a horizon of more theater or more arts, or serving people in a new way. So, focus on the horizon, not on the single point, and you'll find yourself landing in some really unexpected and beautiful places.
Elizabeth Toledo, Arizona Latino Arts and Cultural Center. Elizabeth Toledo is the Executive Director of the Arizona Latino Arts Cultural Center in downtown Phoenix. Her passion is to support, mentor, and promote Arizona artists. She says she has always loved art in all of its forms. Growing up, she would be drawing continuously or singing. Elizabeth taught performing and visual arts in the Isaac School District, and she later entered an administrative position in the Phoenix Union High School District. Her artwork was put on the back burner because her career took a great amount of time. Now that she is retired, she says she is able to return to the corner of her mind where she had stored her many paintings and art.
To be able to reach students through visual art, through music, I think that's one of my achievements. Ask questions. Do it. If you have it in the back of your mind, I wonder what it's like to do this. Do it. The stimulant. Some of us need to be stimulated, by other people, by other artists, by talking to people, and we paint what we see, we paint what we feel at the time, and so that has affected me, and it has affected many artists that way. But we're doing it, and then you have the artists that are very, very motivated. They're doing everything online. They're having exhibits online and doing everything they can online, and so I'm very jealous of people that can do that and that are doing that. But I'm hopeful. I'll be one of the first ones to take that vaccine when it comes out.
Leslie Thompson was born in Dublin, Ireland. She studied electronics and computer maintenance at Kevin Street College of Technology. In 1993, she went to work for Intel in Ireland, and then in 1995, she joined Intel's Chandler, Arizona location. She is passionate about helping others and has volunteered in STEM activities with an emphasis on young girls and technology. Leslie said that she is very honored to be the ICLF president in this 20th anniversary year, and her goal is to build on the rich legacy of the founders and launch the plan for the next 20 years.
I studied electronics in Ireland, so I am considered a technical female. So I'm most proud of helping other young girls and women to get involved in STEM fields and showing them that they can do it, be a role model or help them along the way. Someone in my network reaches out to me, I will respond as quickly as I can with how I can help, because that's how they've helped me in the past. So I believe in that give back. Be a learner and a listener. So continuously don't feel like you've stopped learning, and having that approach to your career in particular, and in terms of mentors, leveraging experts and mentors, be a learner and a listener, and also make time for those activities. The work is always there and you can learn from the work, but learning from those, not giving up on making the time, especially if they're carving out time to meet with you. Respect that time and always have an agenda for that time and some questions, because it will lead to a good conversation.
And now the honorees for Association. Kim Sabo serves as president and CEO of the Arizona Lodging and Tourism Association, where she leads the advocacy, communication, collaboration, and educational efforts for one of the state's leading industries. Kim has also served as Governor Ducey's Director of International Affairs, as Executive Director of the Arizona-Mexico Commission, and as Assistant Vice President for the State Relations at the University of Arizona. Kim is a proud graduate of the University of Arizona, holding a Bachelor of Arts in Media Arts and double minors in Communications and Spanish. She also holds a Master of Business Administration in International Management from the Thunderbird School of Global Management.
Never be afraid to make mistakes. Life and advancing is about taking risks, taking challenges, and learning. And if you're not making mistakes, I don't think you're learning and growing. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay. I would attribute my success hands down to my family, most notably my parents and my children. The small things that perhaps we might have taken for granted before. Wow, there's just a realization and, like I said, a reset on what's really important. And having a job is vital. And I will never take that for granted. I value my job. I feel blessed by my job. I feel blessed by the industry and by my colleagues. They give me strength every day. And with all of that, I truly feel blessed.
Deborah Margraf has been the Executive Director of the Arizona chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association since 2014. This organization has represented electrical contractors in the Phoenix Metro and northern Arizona areas for more than 70 years. Deborah advocates for and supports the members that employ more than 1,000 workers and perform more than 2 million man-hours of work per year.
I believe the best achievement that I've received in my years working in association management is when I was selected the Association Executive of the Year by the Arizona Society of Association Executives. You know, that was an award from my peers, and it was very surprising that I won it. And so I think that's probably one of the best career awards I've received. 2020 is the year of Zoom, and I think it's changed how we're going to go forward. On a personal level with my association, I see more people participating in the meetings than when we have person-to-person meetings. So, you know, that's good news that I have more people attending by Zoom. So that helps.
Joan Service is the Executive Director of the Arizona Housing Coalition, a merger of the Arizona Coalition to End Homelessness and Arizona Housing Alliance. Joan has over 20 years of experience in program coordination with a focus on educating the community about issues of social need through state and federal legislative advocacy, community organizing, coalition building, and public relations. Joan holds a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree in public administration, both from Arizona State University.
I would attribute my success to the support of those who love me. So I think my favorite career quote that has led me on the various paths is a quote by Hubert Humphrey. And the gist of it is that the moral test of a government is how the government treats those who are in the dawn of their life, children, those who are in the twilight of their life, so the elderly, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. I'd also attribute some of my success to the relational charm of my husband, whose wit and charisma has taught me that you can still disagree with people and love and respect the heck out of them and learn from them. And I think that that's quite crucial nowadays. He really has taught me that understanding of multi-dimensional viewpoints, and that's important to me.
And now, the honorees for COVID-19 Response and Management. Will Humble is the Executive Director for the Arizona Public Health Association. His 30 years in public health included more than 2 decades at the Arizona Department of Health Services. More recently, he served as a Health Policy Director at the University of Arizona. He continues to be involved in health policy in his role with Arizona Public Health Association as adjunct faculty with the University of Arizona. Will is a big believer in using evidence-based health policy as a means to improving health outcomes and in leading and managing with emotional intelligence.
My advice is to go through life the best you can with emotional intelligence. It'll serve you well. Here's the thing. I feel really fortunate that I found a career that I always thought of as fun. So when you think about, when you ask me, what do you do for fun? I like to work. It's kind of a weird answer. I like to work for fun. But another thing that my wife and I did a couple of years ago that was really fun is we walked from Porto, Portugal to Santiago in Spain. It was about 250, maybe 300 kilometers. It took us about 3 weeks. We stayed in little albergues, they're called, little villages along the trail. Salon, it's an old Roman road, actually, is what you're walking on. So that's an example of something that I really enjoyed over the last couple of years, is just walking from village to village through Portugal and Spain.
Carla Vargas Llesa joined the Valley of the Sun United Way in June 2019 as the first female and Latina president. United Way works to improve the lives of community members by focusing on systematic change efforts impacting kids and families in Maricopa County's underserved communities. Vargas Llesa has a BA in political science from the University of California at Berkeley. In her free time, Carla enjoys spending time with her husband.
Well, the professional achievement I'm most proud of is truly this past year at Valley of the Sun United Way. It has been the highlight of my career. And we started 2020 with a set of bold goals and a new direction for the organization, ready to establish a new impact plan. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, which was unthinkable and became a reality in our community, we actually had a really firm foundation. The way that I think about success is grounded in a quote that my father shared with me as I grew up from Edison, which was that success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. And really what that means to me is that you have to work hard, you got to put in the time, you got to get dirty. Ideas just aren't enough. And I believe that the power of optimism and vision in any situation are profound. And certainly we all saw that and needed that through these past 6 months.
Dana Kennedy joined Arizona AARP as the state director after serving more than 20 years as a leading advocate for working families, retirees, and women at the local, state, and national levels. Kennedy has a long-standing record of working with various nonprofit organizations in the state, among them the Alliance for Retired Americans, which she assisted with crafting and implementing public policy. Included in her background is acting as a consultant, advising in the areas of board development, strategic planning, grassroots issues campaigns, social media marketing, public relations, and grassroots lobbying.
Well, the professional achievement that I'm most proud of currently is The job that I've been doing since I've been at AARP, I have been very vocal regarding our response to COVID-19 and how it has impacted seniors and the most vulnerable adults in our long-term care facilities. So I'm very proud that because of my advocacy, the governor put together a task force. By the time your guests see this, family members will be visiting their loved ones in long-term care facilities, and they will be in-person visits. And I think we're the first state to do something like this when COVID is still widespread in the community, and seniors have not been able to see their loved ones in long-term care facilities for almost 6 months. And we've had to be very vocal and be the voice for the most vulnerable. And at times I felt like I was really the advocate all by myself with my team, because not a lot of people were actually paying attention to what was happening in our long-term care facilities. And this is often a community that is forgotten about.
And now, the honorees for economy. Jim Rounds began his career as a senior economist and senior budget analyst with the Arizona Joint Legislative Budget Committee, and has been engaged in policy-related economics for more than 2 decades. Jim is a lead member of the Joint Legislative Budget Committee's Finance Advisory Committee, and has served on scores of committees and task force efforts at both state and local levels. Jim has a Bachelor of Science degree and a Master of Science degree in economics from Arizona State University.
The things that I'm most proud of in terms of what I've accomplished so far actually go back a little bit in time. And so, for example, I was a terrible public speaker in college, and I was very reluctant to apply for a job at the Joint Legislative Budget Committee. And I was on my way down for the interview. I was told it was going to be a full-day interview. And I started to get into the left turn lane because I was going to go back home. I thought, okay, take a chance. And I went down there. I was terrified, and I took the job. I thought I was underqualified, and it worked out. And so it was a good example of trying something new and maybe trying to be brave and, address some of your fears. So early on, be open to new things. That's how you grow, and that's how you learn. And you really have to study something that you like. And I've seen people in different fields that were brilliant, but they really weren't enjoying their particular job, and their performance suffered. So it has to be something that you're good at, but you also have to enjoy it.
Sandra Watson, President and CEO, Arizona Commerce Authority. Sandra Watson brings more than 20 years of economic development leadership experience to Arizona. She and her teams have successfully attracted more than 750 companies to Arizona, which have committed to invest nearly $10 billion in capital and create more than 125,000 jobs. She worked tirelessly to implement the new vision for the Arizona Commerce Authority, providing invaluable leadership and stability during its transition from the Department of Commerce into one of the nation's first public-private partnerships focused on economic development.
I'm incredibly proud of what my teams and I have accomplished together during my 20-plus year career in economic development to bring new businesses to Arizona and help existing ones grow. Be ambitious, work hard, raise your hand, and say yes to opportunities. Be confident, and remember that we learn best by doing. Make sure you deliver a high-quality work product that you're proud of every time. 2020 has served as an excellent reminder to enjoy every moment with your family, friends, and loved ones, because the whole world can change in an instant.
Paul Hickman, former longtime aide to the late Senator John McCain, took over as president and CEO of the Arizona Bankers Association in 2010. He oversees the state and federal government relations operations of the association and acts as the chief spokesman for the industry in Arizona. Paul also acted as the director of the Republican National Committee's Arizona Victory Campaign. Paul holds a Bachelor of Science in Political Science, a Bachelor of Arts in History, and a law degree, all from Arizona State University.
Professional achievements that I'm most proud of are when I have an opportunity to actually help shape and craft public policy. And I was able to do that on Senator McCain's staff, and I've been able to do that working for this industry, and I really enjoyed it. Both halves of my professional career. Do what you like doing. Don't worry about the money. If you like doing what you're doing, you'll do it well, and you'll be fine in terms of resources and wealth. And a lot of that wealth is spiritual, and it comes from getting up early and going in because you really want to get there and continue what you left off on the night before. I don't know if that's my footsteps per se in terms of this particular specific career, but in general, that is my advice. Do what you enjoy doing. You spend more of your waking hours at your occupation than you do anything else. And so don't be miserable at it. And if you find yourself that you are, move on, do something else. Life is too short.
And now, the honorees for education. Dr. Mark Jorenstad is the Executive Director of the Arizona School of Administrators. He moved to Arizona in 1989 after 17 years of teaching in North Dakota. Dr. Jorenstad held various positions in the Glendale Elementary School District and served 8 years as the superintendent of the Saddle Mountain Unified School District number 90, leading the district out of receivership in 2010. In 2015, he was named the All-Arizona Superintendent of the Year for medium-sized school districts. He is married to noted gifted education expert Dr. Dina Bruls, with a family of 4 children and 4 grandchildren.
Leading schools to A ratings and changing the culture from failure to success and offering opportunities to children and families is really an accomplishment that was highly gratifying. Well, several things have helped me achieve the modest success that I've had. First, I think, is the example of civic leadership that I saw growing up, which was set by my father, who emphasized the giving of oneself to community, to schools, to church and family. Secondly, to public schools from elementary to high school, to 3 state universities in North Dakota, in Washington, and in Arizona. Next, to making a focused effort to lead a mission-driven life. You define your mission and values and stay with them. Then strong communication skills, which especially include the ability to listen. And finally, for me, the support of family is essential. My lovely, talented wife, Dr. Dina Bruls, my children and grandchildren make it all worthwhile.
Dr. Stephen R. Gonzalez assumed the role of Interim Chancellor for the Maricopa County Community College District in January of 2020, one of the largest community college systems in the nation, serving nearly 200,000 students with 10,000 faculty and staff members across 10 colleges. He has nearly 25 years of instructional and administrative experience in higher education. Dr. Gonzalez earned his doctorate in educational administration in the top-ranked community college leadership program from the University of Texas at Austin. Len Munsell, President, Arizona Christian University. Len Munsell has been president of Arizona Christian University since 2010. Under his leadership, the school has changed its name, raised visibility, expanded course offerings and majors, dramatically increased fundraising, clarified its conservative and theological and cultural mission, experienced large enrollment gains, and more than tripled its campus footprint by moving to a beautiful new campus in Glendale. He is an accomplished attorney, public policy expert, a conservative organizational entrepreneur, journalist, educator, and author. And now, the honorees for Environment. The Water for Arizona Coalition is a community of Arizonans who support innovative practices and smart policies to ensure a reliable water supply to meet the state's needs. Organizational support is provided by solution-oriented groups that collectively have over 60,000 Arizona members, as well as hundreds of hunters, anglers, and outdoor recreation enthusiasts across the state. The organizations behind the coalition are the following. The Environmental Defense Fund is an organization dedicated to finding lasting solutions to the most serious environmental problems. Through a combination of economic initiatives, cutting-edge science, and advocacy, the multidisciplinary approach of the Environmental Defense Fund ensures that the group creates realistic and meaningful change. Western Resource Advocates is dedicated to the preservation of natural resources of the Western United States. The group works with governments to promote the use of clean energy, preserve clean air, and promote smart water use. Audubon is dedicated to the preservation of the thousands of bird species found across the United States and their native habitats. Audubon works to promote awareness of climate change, advocate for bird-friendly farming and water use practices, and plant native plants in the ecosystems inhabited by American birds. Business for Water Stewardship, a program of the Bonneville Environmental Foundation, assists businesses with developing and implementing smart water usage strategies in their communities. Through a mix of consumer campaigns, advocacy work, and on-the-ground projects, Business for Water Stewardship works towards a future where clean water is accessible and available to all. American Rivers combines advocacy with action to protect and preserve rivers throughout the United States. American Rivers uses their vast network of local water advocacy organizations to advocate for and engage in water conservation, environmental action, and cleanup efforts. Here to talk about the coalition is Kevin Moran. Kevin directs strategy and operations for Environmental Defense Fund's water program in the 7 Colorado Basin states. He serves as chairman of Water for Arizona Coalition.
The achievement I'm most proud of is the creation and being part of the development and creation and effectiveness of Water for Arizona Coalition. Across our organizations, over 60,000 Arizonans, deeply rooted in Arizona and Arizona's natural resources, who are also concerned about the future of the places we love and care about and the health of our environment on which everything else depends. Well, when I think about whatever success I've been part of in my career, I think about an ongoing focus and a learning journey, which is really about helping others grow and align their capacities and passion with contribution in the world.
Sarah Porter, Morrison Institute. Sarah Porter graduated from Harvard University with a bachelor's degree and obtained her Juris Doctor from Arizona State University, ranking 3rd in her class. She left her law career in 2006 for Audubon because she wanted to contribute to a collaborative effort to address Arizona's natural resource challenges. Sarah has also been a director of Audubon's Western Rivers Project, which was a multi-state initiative to raise awareness of the challenges to Colorado river sustainability.
Water is increasingly important in Arizona as people come to recognize that it's going to be hard to find more water, and we need to be more creative and more inclusive in how we plan for water demand in the future. And the blueprint is a big step in that direction because it's an opportunity for everyone to find out about Arizona water resources and become involved in the discussion. And so to the degree that I can be credited with the success of the efforts of any of my teams, it has to do with the commitment of all the members of the team to work for something that we all think is greater than ourselves and greater than anything we could be doing individually.
Lori Singleton, President and CEO, Arizona Forward. After almost 40 years with Salt River Project, Lori Singleton was named President and CEO for Arizona Forward in 2017, a non-profit sustainability organization driving major initiatives in the state as it relates to quality of life and economic vitality. As the new leader of Arizona Forward and a seasoned businesswoman, Singleton is implementing an aggressive plan to make large-scale, tangible progress in areas that matter most to Arizona, such as water supplies, clean air, smart transportation, forest health, urban waterways, and healthy communities, all part of a sustainability roadmap for the state of Arizona.
I think I attribute my success to I love what I do, and I have a passion for environmental issues. I'm excited about getting up and going to work every day. And I also think part of my success has been related to 3 very important mentors that I've had along the way who've helped guide me and picked me up when I've fallen, encouraged me to get out of my comfort zone. And I think they're still here today. And I think they were very much a part of my getting to where I am today in my career. Really, you need to find your passion. Life is too short not to be able to do something that you love and to love what you do. Also, I encourage them not to just sit back in their chair and expect that somebody's going to tap them on their shoulder and give them a promotion. You really have to create your own opportunities to get out there and meet people in the community, meet people at your company, go above and beyond. And I think that will really help you be successful as you take your career forward.
Jonathan Nez, President, Navajo Nation. Nez began his public service after being elected as Shonto Chapter Vice President. He was later elected to serve 3 terms as a Navajo Nation Council delegate, representing the chapters of Shonto, Oleato, Sabi-Kin, and Navajo Mountain. He was also elected as a Navajo County Board of Supervisor for Director 1 and served 2 terms. In 2015, Nez was elected Navajo Nation Vice President. Nez believes in education. He is currently a doctoral student in political science and completed research on local empowerment and mobilizing local communities of the Navajo Nation to reinstate their inherent local way of governance. John Giles, Mayor, City of Mesa. John Giles is the 40th Mayor of Mesa. Mayor Giles is committed to taking Mesa to the next level with his Next Mesa vision. Mayor Giles has overseen a growing economy that added thousands of new jobs, new employers like Apple and Textron Aviation, and over $3.2 billion in new capital investment. Giles is also a proud member of the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness and is an active member of the United States Conference of Mayors, serving as chair to its immigration task force.
Among them is the Mesa Arts Center. I was really privileged, to be in the room when that was an idea that later became, this amazing asset in our community that so many people have been blessed by. So I choke back a tear every time I walk into the Mesa Arts Center. I'm just so proud that our community came together to make such a beautiful building and something that contributes so significantly to our community.
Jen Daniels was elected to a 4-year term as the mayor of the town of Gilbert in 2016. Previously, Jen served on the Gilbert Town Council from 2009 to 2016 and as vice mayor from 2011 to 2012. Jen is passionate about local government and the power to positively impact the lives of those she serves. She is a connector and collaborator committed to the future of Arizona. Jen has committed to leading in the areas of fiscal responsibility, infrastructure, technology, and economic development.
Said for many, many years that I don't do anything alone. As a mayor, I have 1 vote. As a council member, I had 1 vote, and it takes 4 to get anything done. Any committee or group, you have to work together. You have to find the common ground, and that's how you find success.
And now, the honorees for healthcare. Jennifer Carusetta, Executive Director, Healthcare System Alliance of Arizona. For the past 15 years, Jennifer has worked in public policy and legislative affairs in the state of Arizona. Prior to joining the Alliance, Jennifer served as the Chief Legislative Liaison at the Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System, in government relations for the Arizona Department of Transportation, and served in the administrations of both Governors Hull and Napolitano. Jennifer is a Flynn Brown Fellow who proudly received her undergraduate degree from the University of Arizona and her master's in public administration from the Arizona State University.
I've had a lot of folks over the years who have said, when you think back, like, what do you think that your greatest influence was? Who made you the most successful? And I always go back to my parents. I'm sure a lot of folks say that. My parents worked incredibly hard when I was growing up, and they pushed me hard. They never let me say I can't do something. They really taught me to believe that if you work hard enough, there's no goal that's too big to achieve. I'm also a really big believer in learning from the bottom up. So I started my career as an intern and really spent several years just listening to great people do their job. I had great bosses who were great mentors to me and led by example. So if you're humble enough to listen and learn from great people around you, you're going to be a better person and you're going to be better at your job.
Karen Garcia is a nurse at the Arizona Burn Center at Valleywise Health. She is committed to better serve the Hispanic community by helping families and children that may not have resources anywhere else. Karen is on the membership committee for the National Association of Hispanic Nurses Phoenix chapter and also on the Community Outreach Committee. Her goal is to innovate creative interventions to help new members feel welcomed and inspired to be active members of the association. Lee Pioski, Executive Director, Crossroads Inc. Lee has been the Executive Director at Crossroads Inc. since 2005. Their mission is to assist incarcerated women in transitioning from prison and attaining self-sufficiency. The 6-month residential program provides a supportive, structured environment for women transitioning back into the community. Lee says, at the Crossroads, you will find opportunity. You will find hope. And now, the honorees for law. Janet Jackim, partner, Zuba, Lawler and Del Duca, LLP. Janet Jackim, who received the AV Preeminent rating from Martindale Hubbell, focuses on real estate acquisitions and leasing, equity and debt financing, loan workouts, and cannabis acquisitions. She has handled the acquisition of cannabis operations across the nation. Ms. Jackim serves on the board of directors of Arizona Cannabis Chamber of Commerce, on the legal committee of the National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws, as secretary of the Arizona Cannabis Bar Association, and, until recently, was a co-chair of the Meritas Cannabis Practice Steering Committee of North America.
Well, I've had a life of fantastic accomplishments, typically being the sole first female in a number of very important positions in large companies. That was great. However, I did adopt a couple of children, and they have special needs, and their special needs put my husband and me in some very difficult times, almost to the point of a bankruptcy. But we've climbed out of that hole, and the children are doing better. Of course, they're young adults now, and I'm hopeful that both of them will be exceedingly successful in whatever occupation they choose.
Danny Seiden, Director, Arizona Government Affairs. Daniel Seiden is the Arizona Government Affairs for Intel, joining them in 2019. Daniel is an experienced attorney and public affairs professional. Prior to joining Intel, he was a shareholder at Greenberg Traurig, LLP. Daniel chaired their Phoenix office's government law and policy practice. He served 4 years as Governor Ducey's Deputy Chief of Staff for External Affairs and Federal Relations. Danny graduated from the Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law at ASU.
Even going back to right when I started at the county attorney's office in the policy
world years ago, which is over a decade ago. We were coming in right after county attorney had been disbarred. And so, the bar was set so low, the county had been in years of lawsuits against each other. I think one thing that I always have is, maybe it's foolish, but I have an optimism that I can get a solution to a problem no matter how complex it is. Or, if someone tells me, nope, that can't be done, it's never been done that way, whether it's, campaign finance reform or, walking up to the 10th floor, which, the county, that was where the supervisors were, as opposed to where the county attorney's office, where I went up there on my first day to introduce myself. And I remember some of them saying, we haven't seen anyone from your floor in, 4 years. I just believe in reaching out and being diplomatic. And I've always just tried to do my best, put myself in other people's shoes. You never know what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes in a lot of situations, but everyone is coming from somewhere. And sometimes we have a lot more in common, I think, than people realize when you sit down across the table from people. So you kind of eliminate all your prejudgment notions and you give it your best shot with them. And if you care about people, which I do, that goes a long way in convincing them that you're going to sit down and have an honest conversation with them.
David Bodney, Senior Counsel, Ballard Spa. David J. Bodney, a litigator focusing on media and constitutional law, is founder of the firm's Media and Entertainment Law Group. For over 40 years, David has defended print, broadcast, and electronic media in defamation, privacy, and related First Amendment litigation. In addition, he has significant experience litigating complex commercial disputes, handling matters involving intellectual property, American Indian law, governmental affairs issues, and briefing several high-profile cases in the U.S. Supreme Court.
The achievement that brings me the most joy is helping the Children's Museum of Phoenix acquire what had been the old historic Monroe School building and help keep it from demolition and becoming condos downtown, but rather becoming the home of the Children's Museum in Phoenix. And it brings me great joy, and hopefully it will bring you great joy, because it's one of those few places in the world, really, where when one walks inside, one is just surrounded by the sound of gleeful children.
And now, the honorees for Manufacturing and Industry. Steve Sanghi, President and CEO, Microchip Technology, Inc. Mr. Steve Sanghi was named the President of Microchip in August 1990 and Chief Executive Officer in October 1991. In 1993, he became the Chairman of the Board of Directors. Prior to joining Microchip, Mr. Sanghi was Vice President of Operations at Wafer Scale Integration, Inc. and has also held various positions at the Intel Corporation, including General Manager of Programmable Memory Operations. Mr. Sanghi holds a Master of Science degree in Electrical and Computer Engineering from the University of Massachusetts and a Bachelor of Science degree in Electronics and Communication from Punjab University, India.
Make sure you walk the talk. One of the biggest problems in management is you say one thing and you do another thing. If you do exactly what you say and you walk the talk, then you bond very well with the employees and empower your employees to achieve the mission, and they will do a great job for you and be the cheerleader for them.
Danny Giovanni, founder, Cartula Inc. Danny Giovanni founded Cartula in 1999 to design and manufacture outdoor equipment and to develop a socially responsible company. Cartula currently ships winter traction products to many places around the world and contributes to social causes worldwide. Danny's background includes starting his company in a garage, raising a family, supporting a variety of community initiatives, and promoting environmental conservation. He has a Bachelor of Science in Physics from the Westminster College of Salt Lake City, where his first garage was. He is president of Cartula and vice president of both Friends of Camp Colton and Geo Family Foundation. Steve Trussell, Executive Director, Arizona Rock Products Association and Arizona Mining Association. Steve Trussell became the Executive Director of the Arizona Rock Products Association in 2007. He is responsible for the promotion and preservation of the sustainability of the rock and construction materials industry through live involvement in community relations, regulatory and political processes. Steve serves on several boards and committees, including the Technical Advisory Board for the Center of Environmentally Sustainable Mining, Air Quality Technical Advisory Committee, and the State Aggregate Association Executives, to name a few. Steve serves his church as a youth leader and feels there is simply nothing more gratifying than spending time with his two amazing children, Don and Danielle. He enjoys being involved in their interests and sharing in their personal triumphs.
Would be, first of all, Rusty Bowers, who was my mentor and is now, of course, the Speaker of the House. He taught me that you lead with one thing intact or not, and that is your integrity. So I think it's lead with integrity, certainly, always. Finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So, lead with what you can do for others first, not just what they can do for you.
And now, the honorees for Public Safety. Deborah Black, Police Chief, Prescott. Deborah Black was appointed as the Police Chief for the City of Prescott in 2016. Previously, Chief Black served the City of Glendale for close to 10 years, leaving as Police Chief, and 25 years with the Phoenix Police Department, achieving the rank of Assistant Chief. Throughout her career, Chief Black has extensive experience in patrol, traffic, training, internal investigations, labor relations, public safety communications, tactical operations, community relations, and officer safety and wellness. Chief Black is an executive fellow for the Police Foundation, dedicated to advancing policing through innovation and science.
And so my mantra is be truthful, gentle, and fearless, and that's Gandhi. And that is who I am, and that is what I bring to the work. So I would encourage everybody to stay as true to who they are as they possibly can, and then just do your best work and treat people well. I have learned is to appreciate what I have, to be reminded to walk in faith and trust that we're all gonna move through this and we're all gonna be okay.
Alberto Gutierrez, Director, Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Alberto Gutierrez has been the director of the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety from 1995 to 2003. And then 2009 to the present. He is former chairman and current member of the State of Arizona DUI Abatement Council, representing the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Alberto proudly became a U.S. citizen in 1966 after exile from communist Cuba in 1960, and has served in various capacities in Arizona since 1964.
First of all, the involvement of my wife, Miriam, of 60 years of marriage next month, my children, grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren who tell me what to do. The fact that as a Cuban immigrant who did it by the book over 55 years ago, as a U.S. citizen, it works. You know, life is precious, and what law enforcement officers do, okay, to save lives, accept our freedoms, because I deal with 80-plus police agencies, fire departments and districts, hospitals, and other state organizations. And you know what I tell them is that you know. We're in a different world right now. Things are going a little different, but at the same time, we always got to say thank you for those people that protect us. You know, I have a granddaughter who works in St. Joseph Hospital at the COVID floor. She's a nurse, and Anne used to be a traveling nurse. She's been there now for some time, and it scares me to death. But you know what? Those are our heroes, and I have to say thank you.
Brian Jeffries, President, Professional Firefighters of Arizona. Brian Jeffries has been in the fire and EMS service since 1991 and currently serves as captain and paramedic for the City of Mesa Fire Department. He is currently the president of the Professional Firefighters Association of Arizona,
as well as Congresswoman Lesko and many, many others, to produce pension reform for the public safety personnel retirement system here in Arizona. This was unprecedented throughout the country, but it was a classic example of where people with vastly different views can come together, work together, be kind and bipartisan, and produce something very special. And that was the most challenging feat of my professional career. I'm surprised that I've politically survived that situation. To this day, I still hear about it. But the bottom line is, together we did the right thing. We saved taxpayers billions of dollars, and we're going to make certain that for the future, those that put their lives on the line for all of us day in and day out can have a secure retirement. And that was on its way south before we stepped in and made those repairs. And as difficult it was, as challenging for me both personally and professionally, I'm very proud that we came up with a lot of solutions to a major problem.
And now, the honorees for Social Services. Steve Zabilski, Executive Director, Society of St. Vincent de Paul. Steve Zabilski has been the Executive Director of the Phoenix Society of St. Vincent de Paul for over 20 years, with 83 conferences of charity, over 2,500 active and associate members. It is also the nation's largest and ranks among the world's largest. Steve's career change from accountant to work in a non-profit organization began when he answered a classified ad in a Catholic Sun newspaper.
2020 has changed the outlook in my life in a number of ways. First and foremost, I think there's a recognition that there's this whole group of people who are heroes that I'm not sure I realized were heroes before. Nurses and first responders and teachers and grocery store clerks and truck drivers and people who deliver the mail and social service workers. I never really thought of them as heroes. And they really are. And we have a sign at St. Vincent de Paul that it's right where our main entrance where people come in, and it says, "Heroes at Work." And I really think that is true. I always knew our people were good people, but I'm not sure I ever thought they were heroes. And I look at them today and I go, they are. St. Vincent de Paul has not missed a single meal in the last 5 months, not a single meal. We serve 4,000 meals a day.
Deborah Arteaga, Executive Director, Tempe Community Action Agency. Deborah Arteaga's professional background brings more than 20 years of private, public, and non-profit sector human service experience to TCAA. She is passionate for advancing the lives of the less fortunate through high-impact programs and services. She has attended both the University of Texas, El Paso, and the University of Phoenix in Tempe. Mariah Moon, CEO, New Life Center. Mariah Moon is the Chief Executive Officer for Arizona's largest domestic violence shelter, New Life Center. For the past 12 years, Moon has dedicated her professional life to working with the most vulnerable populations. During her career, she has become a direct service provider and became a statewide leader working at the Arizona Governor's Office, overseeing the Commission to Prevent Violence Against Women. During her career, she has been a direct service provider and became a statewide leader working at the Arizona Governor's Office, overseeing the Commission to Prevent Violence Against Women. She has also worked with the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence on statewide initiatives. In 2016, Moon sat on Arizona's Sexual Assault Evidence Collection Kit Task Force, guiding the governor's office with recommendations to combat the backlog of rape kits.
Taking in anyone else's kind of feelings or thoughts about who I was, how successful I should be or needed to be, what direction I needed to go. I have been very centered in knowing that I am dynamic and powerful and strong. And of course, that is rooted in my support with my family, my friends, and my loved ones.
And now, the honorees for technology. Sondra Radcliffe, General Manager, Oxygen and PSUs, Collins Aerospace. Sondra Radcliffe has been with Collins Aerospace since 2013 and was selected in July of 2020 to lead the Oxygen and PSU business, where she has full strategic, operational, and P&L responsibility, and leads a global team of roughly 700 engineering, manufacturing, project management, and project assembly employees located in the United States, Germany, India, and the Philippines. She is responsible for establishing the strategy and direction for the business, developing business models and go-to-market, and executing the organizational, operational, and financial strategies to meet current and future business objectives. Sondra says, "I'm a trailblazing female executive at a Fortune 50 company, navigating the ambitious pursuit of a career while raising a family." Girish Rishi, CEO, Blue Yonder. Girish Rishi was appointed Chief Executive Officer of Blue Yonder in January 2017. During Girish's leadership tenure, Blue Yonder has launched a portfolio on the cloud that utilizes machine learning and insights from the intelligent edge, a purpose and values-driven culture, and striving for a representative and inclusive associate base is at the center of Girish's management system. He is passionate about delivering customer value, creating a learning environment, and driving candor and collaboration. In his downtime, Girish can often be found with his wife and 2 boys, either cooking or on the soccer field.
I'm most proud of the culture we have built in Blue Yonder. The team is very apolitical, very low ego, very collaborative, very candid. And as well, across the world, across over 50 locations, the team is very kind towards the community that this country offers us are unparalleled anywhere in the world. I follow that up with the supervisors and sponsors through my 25, 30-year career that I've had, who have made a bet on me even when I was not qualified.
David Dexter is the General Manager of Joint Ventures for the Quest Diagnostics operations in Arizona, serving as President and CEO for Sonora Quest Laboratories, LLC, a joint venture between Quest Diagnostics and Banner Health. He also serves as President and CEO for Laboratory Sciences of Arizona, LLC, which provides oversight and strategic direction for 16 hospital and rapid response laboratories supporting 20 Banner Health hospitals. He also serves as President and CEO of Laboratory Sciences of Arizona, LLC, which provides oversight and strategic direction for 16 hospital and rapid response laboratories supporting 20 Banner Health hospitals, academic medical centers, and cancer centers across the state of Arizona.
First came to Sonora Quest, it was a business turnaround. We were losing $1 million a month. So we turned that around in less than 1 year. Yeah, so I use a management philosophy that is really grounded in focusing on training and engaging your employees to drive exceptional customer performance and also satisfaction. And if you do that, it's really about an exceptional customer experience, if you will. And you just simply can't do that if you don't invest in your employees and the training and also your leaders as well.
And now, the honorees for transportation. In 2001, the Rural Transportation Advocacy Council was established among the local governments and regional transportation planning agencies across Greater Arizona. Rural Transportation Advocacy Council has worked extensively on advocating at the state and federal levels for additional infrastructure investment to address the growing backlog of needs and ensuring that rural areas remain relevant and a major part of the solution. Kevin Adam has served as the Rural Transportation Advocacy Council Legislative Liaison for 13 years. He has over 30 years' experience working on legislation and public policy in Arizona. Chairman of the board is Coconino County Supervisor Matt Ryan. Here to talk about RTAC is Kevin Adam, who served as the RTAC Legislative Liaison for 13 years. Kevin has over 30 years' experience working on legislation and public policy in Arizona.
You have to be extremely knowledgeable about your issue. I think there needs to be also a considerable amount of integrity goes into what you're advocating for, that what you are telling people is legitimate. But you want to be the most, if not one of the most knowledgeable people on that issue.
Connect 202 Partners, Fluor Enterprises, Inc., Granite Construction Co., Ames Construction, Inc., Parsons Brinckerhoff, Inc., Fluor Enterprises, Granite Construction, and Ames Construction, together with leading highway maintenance service contractors, DBI Services, have formed a team that combines local, national, and international highway design, build, and maintenance experience to deliver this first-of-a-kind public-private partnership for the Arizona Department of Transportation. As design builder, Fluor, Granite, and Ames are three of the most successful design-build contractors in the United States. All three firms have partnered together in the past and are jointly executing major transportation projects across the United States. The team has selected WSP Parsons Brinckerhoff, a recognized global leader in infrastructure design, to be the lead engineering firm for the project. Together with a locally based design team, including AZ Tech Engineering Group, Stanley Consultants, and AMEC, the team possesses unrivaled ADOT design expertise. John Halikowski, Director, Arizona Department of Transportation. John S. Halikowski was appointed to the Director of the Arizona Department of Transportation in 2009 to lead the agency responsible for planning, building, and maintaining the state's multimodal transportation system, managing transportation revenue, and providing motor vehicle title, registration, and driver's license services. Prior to his appointment, he honed his transportation policy expertise during 12 years as the Director of Research at the Arizona House of Representatives, where he made his mark researching, presenting, and drafting major transportation-related legislation in collaboration with constituencies most affected by policy changes. And now, the honoree receiving our award for lifetime achievement, Ronnie Lopez.
Tonight, we honor the late Ronnie Lopez, former president of Chicanos por la Causa and a mentor to many in the public sector. His life and work undoubtedly will have a positive effect on our state for generations to come. As Chicanos por la Causa noted in its tribute, Mr. Lopez led the organization through its defining early moments, such as the 1970 Phoenix Union High School walkout, the 1972 recall campaign of Governor Jack Williams, and the subsequent voter registration drive, which led to the election of Raul Castro, Arizona's first Latino governor. During Mr. Lopez's leadership at Chicanos por la Causa, Cesar Chavez performed a 21-day fast, and Dolores Huerta coined the phrase "Si Si Puede" at the Santa Rita Center, which was the organization's headquarters at the time. Mr. Lopez is a native of Miami, Arizona. His father died when he was 6, and in order to raise him and his 2 older brothers, his mom cleaned houses and worked in the mines. Mr. Lopez moved to Phoenix at the age of 20 in the mid-1960s. He cut his teeth on public service by investigating allegations of discrimination for the Arizona State Civil Rights Commission. Years later, Mr. Lopez would serve as Chief of Staff and Executive Assistant to Governor Bruce Babbitt and open his own public relations firm. Among other accomplishments, Mr. Lopez was elected as Justice of the Peace for the West Phoenix Precinct. The Arizona Hispanic Chamber of Commerce honored him as Executive of the Year in 1999, and in 2006, he was named to the Valle del Sol's Profiles of Success Hall of Fame. Recognizing his work, the Maricopa County Community Colleges Foundation created the Ronnie Lopez Leading with Heart Award in 2008. The award honors individuals who demonstrate, and I quote, the same selfless and passionate commitment that Ronnie has for the Maricopa Community Colleges. Tonight, we honor Mr. Lopez with the Arizona Capital Times Leaders of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for everything you've done for our state. To our honorees, congratulations once more. To our sponsors, thank you for engaging and supporting this awards night. And on behalf of the Arizona Capital Times, I want to thank our viewers and our listeners. Good night, and I'll see you around.